Hey y'all, and welcome to the 44th episode of the Yarn This podcast. I'm Shama, Jessie's Girl 84 on Ravelry, Instagram, and Twitter. If this is your first time watching, thanks so much for giving me a shot. If you're one of my returning yarnies, thanks for coming back. Today is Thursday, August 24th, 2022. It has been 3 weeks since I recorded, but since it took me so long to get my last episode up, this is basically 2 weeks. I'm working on some new editing software that my son recommended, and I think I'll be able to get it out a lot faster this time. And I'm also, well, we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about things I plan to do with the podcast later. Excuse me. Well, I've done a lot of knitting the last 3 weeks, but I don't have really necessarily a ton to show for it, but I'm making progress, so I guess that is a ton. Whatever. Anyway, first let me talk to you about what I've had on the needles and I've picked back up and started working on again, is my morning coffee socks. This is a pattern by Kay Litton, the Crazy Sock Lady. I'm knitting this on 1.5, 2.5 millimeter needles. The yarns are Brazen Stitchery, Harmony Sock, and Violet Beauregard. Oops. This. And Brazen Stitchery Paparazzi Sock and Evil Queen. They're both just beautiful. And I usually let my son Kelby help me pick out colors when I'm trying to put multiples together, or maybe two that I'm unsure about when I'm doing the toe, heel, and cuff in a contrasting yarn. So I wasn't exactly sure about these together. I'll hold it up and show you, and I think they look great together. I think red and purple would look great together anyway. But I'm trying to knit on this 30 minutes a day, and I actually forgot to put, oh, I know where I started. I'm also trying to put a little stitch marker to show every day how far I've come. This was the first day that I started doing it. So this is actually day 3, I believe, that I've been doing this, and which started at the heel. But anyway, so this is how much I've knit the past, well, today is the 3rd day. So this, and then this one, and then here to here. So this is the sock so far. I was just a little over halfway through the leg when I picked it back up and decided to do 30 minutes a day on it. I'm doing Kay Jones heel, her, I think it's Umbrella heel. It's a short row heel, and it's great. I love Fish Lips Kiss, but I really like this even better, and I can't believe I'm saying that about any heel besides Fish Lips Kiss heel. I'll do a oh gosh, gusset when I need to. But I'm not a fan. I like getting through the heel pretty quickly. I enjoy heels. I think they're magical. But I don't want to take forever doing it either. And I think a heel flap and gusset, that's what I was trying to say. A heel flap and gusset, just with all the picking up of stitches and the decreasing down, I prefer just to do a short row heel. And it fits me fine. I get it. I have a friend who has teeny feet, and you know who you are. But she can't do a short row heel. It needs to be a heel flap and gusset. Anyway, that's what I'm working on with this. And I want to get this done because of an upcoming project or two. So yeah, I'm excited about this sock. I love the colors. They're beautiful. Now the other thing that I'm working on, I just cast on a few days ago, but it takes some thought and concentration, but I'm really excited about it. And I had talked about starting this. This is the Fiery Foliage by Stephen West Knits. The cast on edge, which is, let's see, right here, I believe, really rolls in. This is going to take some pretty serious blocking, but it's just this little section right here. And you cast on, I'm not going to give away all the secrets because it's a paid for pattern, obviously, but you do an I-cord and pick up cast on. So I probably should have done it looser, but I didn't realize it was going to be so pull in so much. But anyway, it'll work. It's got enough stretch that I can block it out at the end. But here's the first leaf, and I'm working on the second leaf now. it's not difficult, but you've got every row is different. I might be able to memorize the pattern eventually, but right now this is all I've got going. So that's it for Puppy Love this week. Yeah, I'm enjoying both of these, and I have an upcoming project, like I said, so I want to get these socks finished. Plus, I mean, these would be actually really pretty Halloween socks, October socks. So I'll keep you. Oh, I forgot. I'm so sorry. On the Fiery Foliage, I'm using a size 4, 3.5 millimeter needle, and the yarns. Good grief! It took me a little bit to figure out the order, and I went and talked to the girls, and I had it laid out. Actually, had it laid out twice. And my friend Liz suggested bringing in some purples, so I did try to find. I've got purples, but not that would go with this. So this is Cornflower. This is Allie of Savvy Skeins, and this is her Cornflower colorway. This is the Sensible Sock. Yeah, Cornflower. So it's got kind of a purple undertone anyway. And I picked out another one, and I really liked the next one together. I'm not even going to show you till I caked it up, and it was just a little too bright for the rest of the colors, and I love bright, you know. But this is the second color. This is also one of Allie's colors, and it's got a lot of the same blue in it. And this is called Nebula. This is Sensible Sock, her Sensible Sock base again. But you can see it's got like these deep, like purple or navy or something, and then you can just see all the colors. There's pink. Let's see. I guess this is kind of a, yeah, this is kind of, this deep, deep color is kind of a purple, actually. So it's got some really beautiful colors, a little bit darker blue here. Anyway, this third one is also Allie's, and it's her Dazzle Sock and Wild Ire, E-I-R-E. And see, I think these two really blend well together, and then you add this one to it. Let me pull back a little bit. So this is supposed to be a fade, and when I first looked at the shawl pattern, I thought it was like 2 or 3, maybe 3 colors, and it's actually 5. Anyway, my next one is a La Jolla yarn. I usually buy those when we go to Indy at Mass Ave Yarn Shop, but then Yarn Store Boutique near me carries it, and I really do like it, and I've actually never knit with it. I have quite a few skeins, but I've never knit with it. It's always 100%, I believe it's 100% wool, and so it's not something I can knit socks with yeah, 100% superwash merino. So it's beautiful yarn. It's their La Jolla, and this is their August 2017 colorway. But it's kind of like purpley browny. So see, this goes here. I'll try to hold them all up at the end. I might stack them a little bit. Anyway, my final color was one of Kim's colors, Kim Marie's Knit Knacks, and Eat Your Eggplant. And of course, you can't get these anymore. Oh, I'm pulling out the label like that's what you want to see. This is an amazing color, and I remember getting this from her when it is just, look at that depth of color. It's amazing, and the sparkle. So I've got 2 sparkles in here. So let's start here. The 3 on the bottom. Actually need another set of hands to do this. Nope. Okay, hold on. Let's see if I can do this. These 4. Oh, I know what to do. I'm not going to be in the right order, but that's okay. Of course, the one on top is the darkest, and the color you're seeing now is much lighter than it really is. It's very, very deep. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then of course the top one is 5. I'm very excited about this. It's going to be a beautiful fall shawl, and I hope I'm done with it by the end of fall. I really would love to have it done before the Mystery Knit Along starts, but we'll see. I can't remember if it's October-ish, I think, is when he usually puts that out, so I don't know. We'll see. Okay, Sorry, I did not mean to drag on and on about these two little projects, but I'm excited about both of them. Okay, now on to another one, Bites the Dust. I've actually only finished one thing since I last podcasted, but that is my Swell Shawl, again by Stephen West Knits. This shawl was knit on size 5. Hold on, making sure I've got the back of it. Size 5, 3.75 millimeter needles. The first yarn is Savvy Skein's Sensible Sock and Cyclone, and that's this colorway. And then the next colorway is also Allie's in her Sensible Sock base again, and it's the Weekend Blues. Look how beautiful those blues are. Good grief. I love, love, love them. And then the last part was, I am so sorry all of a sudden, Red Stag Fiber Cottage Sock in Her Majesty's Navy, in that beautiful navy. So this is what it looks like. I blocked it, but I didn't block it super aggressively because it was very squishy. I hate blocking the squish out of a shawl. But let me show you. This is what the end looks like. Pull back just a little bit. There we go. I love the waves at the bottom. Got a little bit of waviness at the top as well, but yeah, this is my new beautiful squishy shawl and my favorite color, blue. Okay, but I am going to show you a few things, and I had talked about this. I didn't put on any jewelry, y'all. Good grief. I talked about the fact that I'm going to show you some of the things that I finished while I wasn't podcasting anymore. So let's go ahead and get on with these. I'm not going to linger. But when we went to the Indy 500 in 2021, it was unseasonably cold, and it stayed cold the whole time we were there, which is great for me. I love it when it's cold. And we've never actually been to the race when it was cold until that year, and it was so cold. So I always knit socks. That's my tradition, is knitting socks at the 500. But I decided that I would be a magician and knit a pair of K. Jones wrist ticklers, and I could probably do it overnight, you know, and fingering weight yarn and everything. I always overestimate my abilities. Anyway, these are knit on 1.5, 2.5 millimeter needles. The yarn is Leon Alexander Yarn's Countess Sock in a tension unicorn department. When I saw this yarn, I knew I had to have it. And then the ends are a gray, and I should know what the gray is, but I don't. So this is what the yarn looks like. Here's the other one. I love the pooling in this. Oh, beautiful. And see, the gray is so pretty. These are what I said are wrist ticklers. They don't have a thumb hole or a thumb gusset or anything. So you can wear them like this, or you can just kind of pull them down like this. And I've always got on my Samsung watch and bracelets and stuff. So I don't want to pull it down too far, but if I'm super duper cold, I can do that. So you've got this, or you could do it as high as you wanted, you know, if your hands were super cold and you didn't feel like you could knit or anything, you could do that. So you've got the options here. And you could even pull it down and make it go part way up your arm like this. However, that's my beautiful watch bump under there. Anyway, I love these. I keep them in my knitting bag. So anytime my hands get really cold, I can just pull them out and put them on however I need them to be, whatever area I need to cover with my hands. And during that same summer, I took her, if you're a patron of theirs on Patreon, then in the summer she does what's called Knitty You. And one of the things she did that last year was a pair of mittens called Glimmer Mitts. Again, KF Jones. And these are just this fingerless gloves. They, let's see, they're a little snug for me. I'm not really sure what I did wrong, but they're fine. They just pull a little bit when I put them on. Now these have a very specific area that they hit. kind of have to twist them a little bit, and you'll be able to see when you hold it up for you that they pull a little bit at the thumb area. But they are beautiful, and I don't know if you can see it or not. You probably can't. There's a little bit of beading in this area. Back up just a little bit. Like there's a bead right there. Anyway, there are beads around both, and you can see them a lot more. Well, I don't know. I think I got some that were a little bit too close to the actual color of the yarn, but here they are. These are a lot smaller than the wrist ticklers, around and the length of them, but they both serve a purpose, and I love them. This had a folded hem and the picot edge, which I've done picot edge before, but not like this because of the folded hem. It's beautiful. I love them. Anyway, so that was what I had, two of the things I had worked on. I also finished my Peter Rabbit socks. These are also a Kay Jones pattern. I love Kay, if you hadn't noticed. I hadn't said this, she's Bryony Bear on Ravelry and Bryony Bears on Instagram. These are also knit. Generally, if I'm knitting socks, unless they're like DK weight socks, I'm going to knit them on 2.5 millimeter. The yarns are both Brazen Stitchery. And I think this is funny. I'm going to show y'all in a minute. The first one is their Harmony sock, and I think we're alone now. Well, I've told y'all before, if you've got a title that fits something I love, I'm probably going to buy your yarn, or it has a good backstory. And the toe, heel, and cuff is their Sensible sock. Oh no, this is Savvy Skeins. I'm sorry, Sensible sock in Violet Beauregard. So this is I Think We're Alone Now by Tiffany, if y'all remember. I think we're alone now. And then the toe, heel, and cuff is Violet Beauregard. Now here's what's so funny. This is Allie's from Savvy Skeins, her Violet Beauregard. And this is Brazen Stitchery's Violet Beauregard. I think they both fit, but they're very, very different. Anyway, so this is the sock. It's got a beautiful little stitch pattern on it. And I had a lot of fun knitting these socks. I think these were the ones that I did for the Indy 500 this year. But I was also working on my shawlography at the same time. No, I was working on Sea Swell. I was just getting started with Sea Swell. That's what it was. And these socks. So, let me put these over here. Okay. Oh, and the other thing that I've been working on, and this is not anything that y'all haven't seen before, I'm not as far as I need to be this year, but I'm working on preemie hats again, and here's my little stack of hats. With moving in the beginning of the year, getting sick just before we moved, and then of course it took me 21 days to finish unpacking, and then it took me a while just to kind of recover from everything. So I haven't gotten as many hats, but I feel like if I can get one nearly every week between now and Christmas Eve, we should have more than 20. So we'll be in good shape. They're a lot of fun to knit. Super easy. Okay. So that's all for this week for Another One Bites the Dust. I don't know if I'm going to have anything finished in 2 weeks. We'll see. We'll see. I might surprise myself with my 30 minutes a day of knitting. Okay, so the final countdown, and I think I've talked about these a little bit, at least, yeah, I have talked about a couple of them, actually, since I started. So I'm just going to quickly go over them. The Halloween sock knit along that Kay is going to have in October, and I really don't know anything about it. I missed the last couple patron-only podcasts, Pop Live. I couldn't get on for some reason. And the last one, I thought it was the next week, and it was not. I ordered a yarn from Crystal Sky hand-dyed. It's a Halloween mystery colorway, so that's actually on the way, and I'm super excited about it. And then, of course, the Stephen West knit along. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my show notes over here. And then the other thing that I haven't mentioned before, I have a sweet friend whose job is very, very stressful and very difficult for her. And the last year and a half or two have been really difficult for her anyway. And she found a picture of crocheted chill pills, and she said they made her laugh and asked if I would make one for her. And I said, absolutely. And it's a very simple, basic little pattern, but you know me and crochet, I really want to. I've got some crochet patterns I want to try, but the little pattern, it was simple is what I'm trying to say, and I should have been able to do it without a pattern, but when I found the pattern, it was discontinued. So I found a cute little knitted one, which means I can do it faster and can get some out to her more quickly. But I'm going to be knitting these chill pills, and I haven't even cast on yet, so I'm not going to give you all the details yet. Okay, I'm going pretty quickly this week. We are family. And I've talked a little bit about these two things. This weekend starts our yarn crawl. I'm very excited. I think we're going to go south this weekend to Galveston and try to hit the ones that are south of us. And but it'll be over 2 weekends, and Saturday and Sunday both days. We'll go most of the day on Saturday both days, and then Sunday we usually I go to worship. And then I meet the girls and we go from there. I'm going to try to video some stuff and either do a separate video of just the yarn crawl or maybe add it into the next podcast. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I bought a gimbal, which I didn't even know what that was. And it's going to hold it up. I have a selfie stick, but this is a lot more stable. And I'm going to use this and see how it comes out. I'm really excited about it. So maybe I'll be able to get some more out and about videos if I do this. Because like I said, I'm really, really committed to getting this done more every 2 weeks. Because I'm really excited about it. And I just feel like things are coming together so nicely in my life right now that I just want to have this as a bi-weekly thing to do. Okay, and then at the end of September, we'll have DFW Fiber Fest. And I may be wrong. Her plans may have changed, but a while back, Natalie from the 11 Stitches podcast said she's coming to DFW this year, which just thrills me because I've been wanting to meet her ever since I first started watching her, and when I found out she was from Dallas, I was super excited. So in 2020, she was going to be at DFW, and I was so excited because I knew I'd get to meet her, and of course nothing happened that year. And then last year, DFW didn't happen again, and she moved to New York, and I thought, well, that's it. I'll never get to meet her. But she's, as far as I know, she's planning to be here for that. So I'm super excited about that and getting to meet her and everything. Also, I was going to show you, I found this little company called the Clever Clove, and I found out about this company from Natalie on one of her podcasts recently. That she makes these enamel pins. I think she has some stationery and other things. The cleverclove.com. I'll link it in my show notes. But anyway, she makes the cutest enamel pins, and she has certain characters, and she might have like a series of pins. But the one I got was this puppy knitting. I can't remember the puppy's name, but good grief, it's so cute. But the other pin I have, I actually bought at the Modern Skein a while back. And when I saw it, I don't know if it's going to be backwards for y'all or not. It says West Knits are the best knits. And with my Stephen West obsession, I would think that that's probably a good thing. I have it on my back all the time. But anyway, I have some yarn acquisitions that I want to show y'all. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of jumping around. Knit Night is starting at my house in about 40 minutes. And I kind of lazed around a little bit too much today and didn't get on top of things. Everything's pretty much ready to go, but I just want to get through recording before everybody starts getting here. My two most recent acquisitions, I'm going to jump back to what I was going to talk about. I got from Lolo Did It, and I did it around the time of Shark Week. Now, I'm not at all a fan of sharks, and I may have told y'all, though, that I do love the Sharknado movies and all their cheese. I don't even know why I do, but I love every single one of them. But anyway, so she had dyed up some yarns for Shark Week. Sorry. Natalie has Sock Week on her podcast. The first one is Sharknado. And these colors are so gorgeous. There's some purple. There's that another kind of like a reddish purple. And then this deep purple here. And then there's some red because of, you know, blood and stuff. And yeah, this is just gorgeous. Look at, I'll pull this down just a little bit. You can see that deep purple there. Oh. And the other one is also shark related, and it's called Donna Donna. And they're similar. They do have some similarities, but good grief, this has a bit more pink, like a more pink, and there's no like blood red drops in here. So here they are, Sharknado and Donna Donna. Let's see there, you can kind of see they're beautiful. I don't know what I'm gonna knit with them, but I don't have to know. I like building my stash, and then I come in and I pull it out for maybe a Stephen West shawl that calls for 20 skeins of yarn or something. Okay, I'm going to show you some of the yarns that I got last summer. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to hold off on showing you two of them because I meant to pull up the pattern names that I plan to knit with these yarns. But I will show you these others that I got, and it's just 3 skeins. This one is by Knitted Wit Sock, and the colorway is Solstice. And I think I've got this, well, no, Solstice is the base. I'm sorry, this is called Sassy Holiday. I believe I got this at Mass Ave in Indy. Look at the blues and the purples in this. Oh, it's gorgeous. There's a weird little gold right here. Can you see that? That's strange. It might pop out when I cake it up. But anyway, look at that. Look how deep that color is. I don't know if you've realized this by now, but besides loving sparkles and blues and pinks, I love, love, love jewel tones and neons. I love color. Okay, so that's one of the ones. And again, this is not something I have planned for. I just have it. Now the other one, this was an interesting situation. Chuck and I will hit up yarn shops. We hit up some of the same ones every time, like Mass Ave. I like to go to the little one in Zionsville. I can't think what it's called right now. But I found one out in a little town, and I'll never remember the name of the town. I could look it up and find out, but honestly, I don't want to, because I don't want to put too much on this. This was a little yarn shop, and it was actually a building behind somebody's house. The lady that who owned it was very, very neat, very sweet. So, you know, I don't want to say anything, but it was an odd little situation, and I almost didn't go in. But we had come all the way to this town just to go in here. And so it was very small. There was only one other person in there. So you kind of almost feel like you have to buy something. She had some nice yarns, but the floors were kind of icky. She had 2 German Shepherds that were in there with her. I'm probably giving away too much information. And it just had a funky smell about it. But anyway, I found a couple of yarns, and one of them came with a pattern, which is another thing. Anyway, this is one of them, and this is Queensland Collection Sunshine Coast, and the colorway is Old Rainworth. This is the, it is, let's see, oh, a superwash, 70% superwash wool. Doesn't say what kind of wool. Oh, merino, I'm sorry. And 30% bamboo. So this is a great yarn. I think it must be like a DK. It's beautiful, but I probably would not have gone for this under normal circumstances, because I really do love hand-dyed yarns and supporting hand dyers. The other one is also Queensland Collection Perth, and this might have been what the pattern came with it. And the colorway, the colorway is Rainbow Reef, and this is an 80-20 superwash wool and nylon. And again, this is pretty. I think it's going to make a pretty little cowl or something. The pattern that came with it, though, she had it in a binder, in a plastic sleeve, and she gave it to me, put it in the bag. And I got away from the shop and I looked down and started looking at the pattern and everything, and I thought, this is just like a printout. So I went to Ravelry and I discovered that it was a for sale pattern. So I'm going to get in touch with the designer and talk to her, just let her know. I'm not trying to be a jerk about it because I don't want to get this lady in trouble. She may innocently not even realize what she's doing. She was a little bit older. And, you know, if you don't know, you don't know. That doesn't make it okay. But I don't want to get anybody in trouble if they're just doing something innocently. And she might have permission from this girl for all I know. That's why I want to check it out. But I don't want to knit this pattern without paying for it unless it was a thing they had worked out for themselves, between themselves. Okay. The last thing in We Are Family is last time I had talked to y'all about Allie of Savvy Skeins. Her husband Adam was very, very, very sick, and it was very serious. Things have improved dramatically. He's in rehab right now, helping him build his strength back up so that he can walk again. He was just in the bed and so sick and so weak for so long that he just needs help getting back on his feet. He's been in there for probably a week now, but things are looking up so much. He does have lupus, but it looks like he's going to be able to go back to work, and I may be talking out of turn on that, but I think he's going to get to go back to work. And I thank y'all very much. If any of you added anything to their GoFundMe, that was great. If not, I totally understand. I do. If you would like to, I could link it again, because they are going to have a lot of bills from this and getting behind on payments on things, I'm sure, because he's the breadwinner. But anyway, like I said, if you just pray, then that's a wonderful, wonderful thing to do. Okay, I'm going to kind of go quickly through things on 1 week. So we're to 1 week now. Finally, the end. Things about my life. I think since the last time I recorded, I went to a cousin's wedding shower. And I have another little well, I had several cousins, family members that were there. And one of my cousins, she's about 19 years old. I'm going to go ahead and say her name, Peyton, was sitting next to me. And we don't know each other all that well. She's so much younger. And, you know, we've been around each other some, but not a ton. And she said, I saw that you're starting a podcast. And I was talking to her a little bit about it. I said, yeah, you know, she said, I think it's great. I think you should do it. And she was so encouraging that it really kind of pumped me up to keep going with it. And the fact that she's, 19 or 20 years old, and she cared enough to talk to me about it just meant so much to me. And, yeah, it just, I am self-motivated. I like to keep my house clean. I don't have to have anybody to ask me. I don't need anybody to tell me that they think it's great. But when somebody does, it kind of spurs you on. You know, you just want to do it better and do it more and all that stuff. My husband loves my organizational bins and the way I try to keep things really organized. And when he talks to me about that, it just spurs me on to do even more. So anyway, I thought that was really, really great, and I loved it. Also, a cousin of ours who's almost 90 years old, he and his wife live in Missouri, and he's from Texas. So he comes back every year and visits with his siblings that are still here. And actually, he only has one left now. But he got in touch with Mom, and then he got in touch with me and said that they were going to stop off to see Mom on the way through Lufkin. And so he asked, you know, and so I decided, yes, we're going to go. And I called my cousin. And we decided, yes, we were going to go together and meet them. And it was such an amazing, 2 hours or so that we got to spend together. We got some pictures. We talked about a lot of things. And I just felt this connection because they're people I haven't been able to be around a lot in my life. And it was so much fun. And we laughed and hugged. And I wanted to cry when they left, honestly, because I want to spend more time with them. But anyway, now we're in touch and we'll be able to stay in touch more, which I thought was great. Okay, a couple of other quick things I'm going to try to hit on. I want to put music back in the podcast, but I'm having a hard time with it. I don't want to sign up for something where I have to pay monthly to be able to use the same songs over and over. So when I downloaded the software, this editing software for the last episode, it came with a music maker. So I'm going to play around with that and see if I can't make up a little bit of the music I want to go with this. Specifically the songs that I named each of the sections after. Puppy Love, another one, Bites the Dust, the final countdown, We Are Family, and 1 Week. And plus I'd like to do like an opening credits song. So if I can make that work and it's not too terribly cheesy or awful, I might be able to add some music back in. But we'll see about that. I'll keep y'all updated and let you know what's going on. Also, the rain. Depends on where you live, but we've had such a drought this summer, and I'm so thankful that it started raining about a week ago-ish. Maybe a little less, but we've had a lot of rain. And Chuck had gone and put bought some sod and put out, because we had some bare spots. And so those little suckers have latched onto the ground beneath, and Chuck hasn't mowed because he's like, I'm going to give it a few days to really root in, or however you say it, and then maybe rain a few days. Well, we're getting some grass out there. It's rained a lot, and he hasn't been able to mow, but it hasn't rained today, so I feel like maybe he'll be able to get out there tomorrow and get the yard mowed. But really, really thankful for the rain. Also, another sad note, my first episode back, I talked to y'all about Tony Dow of Leave It to Beaver passing away and how that just devastated me. Well, probably my favorite female singer of all time died. And I'm sure a lot of you already know, Olivia Newton-John. I was at the grocery store when I found out. And thankfully I was with my son Kelby, and he was able to finish up checking out and everything, because I immediately fell apart and started crying. I loved Olivia Newton-John as far back as I can remember. Every song, all of her movies, I know all of the words, all of the songs. You know, it was devastating to me. And the fact that she was such a happy person, the fact that she'd been through so much with all this cancer, and she took her health into her own hands. And that's what I try to do with my own life, and I appreciated that about her. But I loved her way before all that. So anyway, I meant to bring it up, but People Magazine has a special edition of her on the cover, and so I got that. I haven't read it yet, but if you've never listened to her, go look up Olivia Newton-John on Spotify or wherever you listen to your music, stream your music. It's worth it. Xanadu, Grease, way back to the very beginning in the 70s when she was a little more country, as she just has this angelic voice. Anyway, the last thing I want to talk about is Happier Than That, but it also has to do with music, and it has to do with my favorite singer of all time. He's on tour right now. I haven't said who it is yet, but you probably already know. He's on tour right now with John Waite, who did Missing You, and a bunch of other songs, but Missing You is kind of his big song. And then with Colin Hay, who was the lead singer of Men at Work from Australia, the song Down Under and Who Can It Be Now? Anyway, I recorded a lot of songs that night on my camera. And of course, the main act was Rick Springfield. Rick Springfield. I always get super excited and act like a teenager anytime I see him. But this time felt like the first time all over again. It was amazing. He was just a few days away from turning 73, and you would never know it. I'll put some pictures up at the end, but he looked amazing. I always have to get a t-shirt. So I got this to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Working Class Dog. And my favorite song, of course, is Jesse's Girl, in case you hadn't realized that. And when we found out ahead of time that they only let you bring in a bag that is 4 inches by 6 inches. My phone is 7 inches long. And I am a pack rat, and I want to take all my stuff with me. I found a bag that was 4 inches by 6 inches, but it was also about this wide. Whatever, I'm bringing my stuff in. So I did. And then when I got in there and I was getting my t-shirt, they had a bag for sale. A tote bag. And I was like, well, okay, then I'll get the tote bag. which I would have gotten under any circumstances because it's the bag I showed y'all earlier with my pins. It's the 40th anniversary of Working Class Dog, that first album. Oh, this is the anniversary tour. And on the back was his dog that was on the cover of the album with him. And this is one of the lines from Jesse's Girl, and I hope you already knew that. The point is probably moot. It was the best night. It was amazing. So I'll put up some pictures. I can't put up any of the videos, but if you're one of my Facebook friends, you can go back and watch any of the videos, which I'm sure just thrills your soul. But anyway, if you're interested, there are a few videos from that night. It was definitely a night to remember, and I'm ready to go see him in concert again. That's really about all I had. I had a few other things, but they can wait. I am still going to do the craft room tour, which I've recorded, but I'm not happy with it, so I'm going to go back and re-record it. So that should be up here in a couple of days. And like I said, I'm going to record the yarn trail. So until next time, knit on. Hey y'all, welcome to the